Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to install Visual Studio 2022 for free on Windows 10. First, type in Visual Studio. Unless you see an ad, it'll probably be the first result. It's typically at a .microsoft.com link. The placement of the button might differ in the future, but for now, just click on Downloads. You'll notice three options, at least at the time of this recording. They are Community, Professional, and Enterprise. Enterprise and Professional offer more features, but they do cost money. So we're going to stick with Community and click the free download. It'll automatically start downloading. If it does not, you can click here to retry. You'll now notice that it is downloaded. So let's go to the downloads folder and inspect. We can see a Visual Studio Setup.exe file, and let's double click on that. Windows will prompt you if you actually want to make changes to your device, and I do. Next, click continue, assuming that you agree to the Microsoft Terms of Service. Now you will notice it is installing. You are presented with quite a list of different options or components that you can add to your Visual Studio installation. ASP.NET and web development is what I typically do because I like making ASP.NET applications. Microsoft offers some great cloud products, and you can use Azure Development to get started with that. Typically, I use Python for making artificial intelligence programs. Typically, I use this one when I'm making a web API using Node. Mobile development with .NET is great when you want to make an iOS or Android application that shares the same code base. .NET desktop environment component is for when you want to make a Windows application that runs on a computer, such as one that you might download and install from the internet. Same thing here with desktop development with C++. Instead, you're using C++. Universal Windows Platform Development is another great option when you want to make a Windows application. You can also create mobile apps with C++ using this component. Using the game development with Unity component, you can create cross-platform 2D and 3D games with Unity. Same thing with game development with C++, but with C++. Typically, I use the data storage and processing when I want to do something with SQL Server. Data science and analytical applications are great for data science applications. Visual Studio Extension Development is great for when you want to make a tool that actually runs and lives inside your Visual Studio IDE. You can also create Office and SharePoint extensions using this component. Using the Linux development C++ component, you can create Linux applications. Next, let's switch to individual components. Typically, I leave this alone unless I have a particular reason that I need one of these other options. Currently, we're using the .NET 6 runtime. You probably won't be selecting any of these other options such as .NET 5 or .NET Framework unless you're specifically targeting an older system, probably for your legacy application at your company. There's additional options for cloud, database, and server. You'll definitely want to have the NuGet Package Manager to install packages. Scrolling down more to SDKs, libraries, and frameworks, you may find that the Entity Framework 6 tools are very useful when you're working with SQL. Using the Language Packs option, you can select a language and your install location. Assuming everything looks good to your standards, go ahead and click Install. Now, the Visual Studio installer is installing Visual Studio Community 2022. You can also use Visual Studio Installer to install additional components in the future, or as new versions of Visual Studio come out, you will be able to install them through this installer. Once it completes, it'll automatically start. I'm going to continue with outside. I will choose dark as that is my preferred. Now Visual Studio 2022 is installed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, you can send me an email or go to my website. The links and details are in the description. Thanks for watching and have a good one.